How you been, Ben? I've been good. How about you? Today we're going to talk about the Opus BT-3100 version 2.2 battery charger. It's one of my favorite battery chargers for charging batteries. Before we get started, I want to let you know that the giveaway for the 3V bag has been posted on that video, so go back a couple videos. If your name was drawn, please get a hold of me and I will send that bag out to you. You can also check worldwidesurvival.com. Last month's giveaway winner was posted, and I'm going to be posting another giveaway for October. I post a new giveaway every month, so if you haven't gone over to worldwidesurvival.com, the link is in every one of my videos. Go check that out. So preppers and survivalists, we all have flashlights in our kits. We probably have several flashlights in our kits and several flashlights at home. So what's the one thing we need for those and other electronics? It's batteries. Now, keeping those batteries charged, you have a few options. A lot of flashlights these days are coming with built-in chargers. So no matter what battery they run on the inside, generally they're USB. You can hook them up and keep them charged on the go. There's also portable chargers like this little Claris CH1, which I really like. I keep these in the kit. You can plug them into USB and keep your batteries charged that way. This particular one will charge your 18650s or your lithium ions, and it'll also charge your nickel metal hydrate batteries, such as your AAAs and AA's, which I find is really convenient because my flashlights and headlamps and other electronics take all different types of batteries. So that's one way to keep charged on the go. You can also use these as a power bank, which is kind of cool, meaning you can put an 18650 in there and then you can output to your cell phone, for example, and draw off the battery there. But that would take you a while to keep most of your batteries charged at home, especially with really big lights like some of these ones that I've reviewed lately. They take up to 4 18650s, and charging them one by one can be really tedious. Now, most of the more popular brand flashlights like Olight and ThruNite and Nikkor, they do have their own chargers and they work pretty well. A lot of them won't charge the nickel metal hydrate. They'll just charge the lithium ion batteries, so that's a downfall for me. I do want something that's sort of an all-in-one solution. They do make good chargers. We're going to go over this ThruNite charger in a future video. But I really like the Opus because it pretty much does it all. Now, all you techie nerds out there are going to say, well, Ben, but the Opus doesn't do this, and this is better, and doesn't have a flux capacitor and things like that. And that's true. It does not have a flux capacitor. But for the rest of us, the people that just want to keep their batteries charged and do it quickly, be able to tell the status of their batteries, the Opus might be for you. Flashlights take all different styles of batteries, from your AAAs, your AA's, on up to your 14500s. You got your CR123As, you got your 18650s, which I have a couple boxes of here. And then you even have these 26650s, which the newer, bigger lights are taking these days. So this charger can charge all of those different batteries, and it can do it independently since it has 4 independent slots. So what I really like about the Opus is that it has a 3 amp input. A lot of them just still have a 1 amp input. So with 3 amps, you can divide that between the 4 slots and you can charge your batteries much quicker. Now, if I have 2 in here, I can divide it up. I can put 1500 milliamps to each terminal and charge them that way with 1.5 amps. If I have 4 in here, I believe I can set it up to 700 milliamps, and that will give me roughly 3000 milliamps total, meaning you're charging a lot faster no matter how many batteries you put in there. So we have 4 buttons on here. We have a mode button, a display button, a current button, and a slot button. The display is just going to jump through your display. Let me put a battery in here. So it's going to show me my voltage, and then it's going to show me my charging rate. If I hit display, I can swap between those, so voltage, milliamps, hours, and then back to the charging rate. Current, I can select that per slot, so I can go ahead and select whichever slot I want. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll select 1, and then I believe to select the current, I have to go back through the modes, back to charge mode. Then I can select the current, so 700 milliamps, 1000, 1500, and since I only have 1 battery in here, I can go all the way up to 2 amps and charge that battery really fast. You just let it flash for a couple seconds after that, and then it will go ahead and start charging. Then of course you have your different modes. It's on the charge mode right now. Then you hold this down and we can go to discharge, so that'll discharge our battery. I think it maxes out at 5 milliamps or half an amp as far as discharge goes. Discharge refresh, so it'll discharge it and then recharge it. A charge test and quick test, which will give you some specs about the battery. So when you don't have any batteries in there, it's going to say null, but again, it has 4 independent channels, so we can go ahead and throw some batteries in here. You can see it has a nice backlight there. When you first put the battery in, it's going to show you the voltage, so I think that said 3.2 when I put it in. 4.2 is the max for a 18650. And then it says 1.37. I believe 1.4 is the max for a AAA and AA. Nope, 1.2. So that one is charged. Then I can put a AAA next to that, 1.21. So that one's charged. And then I can throw a 2650 on the end here. Again, it's going to say 4.04, 4.2 is my max. So that one has a little bit more that we can put into it. And then it's going to automatically default to half an amp is what it defaults to as far as charging, or 500 milliamps. We can go ahead per slot and change that, or I can change it for all. If I change it for all, remember we have 3 amps to work with here. So if I hold down the mode button and then I change the mode, I got to change it back to charge if you don't do it right away. So I can go through all these other modes, which we'll talk about in a moment. Go back to charge, and then I can select different currents. So we have 700 milliamps, 1000 milliamps, or 1 amp. I believe that's the highest it can go. Yep, when you have 4 in there, the highest you can go is 1 amp. So I can set it on 700 milliamps, and I'm going to get 700, 14, 28, so 2.8 amps across all 4 batteries. Again, max is 3 amps. So that's a good setting to set it on when you have the 4 batteries in here. We can go ahead and change our display. It'll show you voltage. So I have 3.67. Again, 4.2 is the highest on a 18650. Now, will it get up to 4.2? It depends. It depends, you know, how good your battery is, how new your battery is, and things like that. That's where you can use some of the other features in this charger to be able to refresh your batteries. So we have voltage there. This one's charged. This one's charged. And it usually takes, I've seen it up to half an hour before it'll say full, even though they are charged. It just takes the charger a while. I find that it does that with other chargers too. When you plug them in, it'll blink for a while and then it'll be done even if it's charged. And then we have 4.05 on the end one here. Again, 4.2 is the same for your 2650s, your 14500s, your CR123s, your 18650s. Really the only thing that doesn't max out at 4.2 volts is your AA's and AAA. So I can switch through the different displays here. I have voltage, then I have my milliamp hours, which never is really accurate, I find, unless you do a complete discharge and charge. You have your hours, so it tells you the time that the battery's been in the slot, and then back to our charging rate. So I can also select different charging rates per slot. So if I just hit slot, for example, I can go to this first slot here and I can change my current. I believe I have to go all the way back to the charge mode, and then I can change my current. So I could charge this one at 1 amp. Then I could select a different slot here. Again, I got to go all the way through back to charge. I could charge this one at 200 milliamps. Let's charge this one at 200 milliamps as well. And then let's give this outside one 1 amp as well. Go all the way back to charge. Not sure why it makes you cycle through before you can change it again, but we can go all the way back up to 1 amp. So now I'm charging 1 amp on both, and then pretty much the remainder, I could probably bump these up just a little bit more to like 400 or something, 500, and give those a little bit more current. But it is nice that you can select different charging rates depending on the batteries that you have in there. Another nice thing about this charger is that it does have overheat protection. So it has a fan on it. I don't know if you can hear that the fan kicked on. The fan does get a little annoying. It kicks on, kicks off, kicks on, kicks off. But it's not very loud, so it's not a big deal. I usually just have this charging, you know, in another room on the floor, never hear it. But again, for me and for the chargers that I've used, it's a fantastic charger. It gives you a lot of capability, and it allows you to charge all different types of batteries. So if you guys are looking for a very easy to use charger, something you can leave at home and get all your batteries charged, definitely look into the Opus. I'm going to put a link below to GearBest where you can pick this up, as well as a possible coupon if I have one. I'll leave it down there. You can also get these batteries that I like the most, these NCR 18650Bs, in my opinion, the best batteries that you can buy. You can also pick these up as well as any other battery from GearBest as well. So check that out. Again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Please give it a big thumbs up for me. Leave me some comments below. Make sure you share this video to your friends and family on your social media. And as always, click that red subscribe button. Subscribe for new videos every week.